Welcome back to Hardball. The debate over spending and cutting is going just the way President Obama planned, apparently. He's out there every day now making the case that he's looking out for the middle class, while the Republicans are just as stubbornly looking out for the wealthy. And as automatic across-the-board cuts loom March 1st, the president's taking advantage of the power of his office. Watch them do it. Today, the president's doing interviews with 8 local TV anchors to pitch an infrastructure plan. Note that most of these markets include a significant defense presence. They're near bases in an industry that could be hit hard if a sequester goes into effect. Here's a clip from his interview today with NBC Oklahoma City affiliate KFOR. Listen.
We've got some automatic spending cuts coming up in 9 days that will lay off hundreds of thousands of folks or furlough hundreds of thousands of folks all across the country. They're not necessary. They'll hurt our economy. They'll raise the unemployment rate. And the reason is because Congress has not been able to compromise on a deficit reduction package that's more sensible.
Well, yesterday, the president insisted sudden across-the-board spending cuts would be unnecessary and damaging. And he made sure that first responders were there to punctuate the message. Let's watch and listen.
Border Patrol agents will see their hours reduced. FBI agents will be furloughed. Federal prosecutors will have to close cases and let criminals go. Air traffic controllers and airport security will see cutbacks, which means more delays at airports across the country. Thousands of teachers and educators will be laid off.
And keeping up the drumbeat, tomorrow House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi will hold hearings on how middle-class families could be hurt by the Meat Act's approach to spending cuts that could kick in March 1st. Joining me right now is U.S. Congressman Adam Schiff of California and Politico's Jonathan Allen. Congressman Schiff, you're up first. You got elected. You speak first here tonight. I was so impressed by the way you explained all this morning on MSNBC. I'd like you to do it again. Your take on what this fight's about coming up March 1st, sir.
Well, the fight is largely a fight within the GOP. You talked earlier about the schizophrenia within some of the GOP members. That is most manifest in the House. They really have two minds. You've got the Tea Party contingent that wants to tear down government, that ran on a platform of tearing down and has never made the transition to being for anything. And right now they're driving the train. They want the sequester to go into effect. They want it to go into effect because they want to show that they're serious about this, and they feel that's their mandate. At the same time, it's going to be enormously destructive to the economy. We're poised to make a recovery, and if the Congress could get out of the way and stop manufacturing these crises month after month, I think we would have a full recovery. But what the president has proposed, which is a reasonable compromise that's part spending cuts, part revenues, is being rejected by the House of Representatives leadership, and we are where we are.
Two major points I heard there at the beginning by the Congressman. John, I want you to respond to, first of all, the who. It is the hard right. Every time the president, you talk to people in the White House, they say, this president, whatever you think of the politics, doesn't know who to talk to on the Hill. There is no Boehner. He's just a front man. Eric Cantor's got his wet finger in the air trying to figure out where the wins is won. Who is the president talking to? Is it just a claque of a bunch of right-wingers who don't want to talk to anybody? Then, are they Hamas? I mean, who are they out there?
They are not Hamas. But look, there's nobody who speaks with one voice for the House Republicans. Yeah. When there is a deal cut, it's always Mitch McConnell and Joe Biden, the Senate Minority Leader and the Vice President on budget.
Well, yeah, but who's Obama talking to? The president. Who can he talk to?
I don't think he
has to send Joe up there to find somebody of like mind to talk to him?
Yeah, because he doesn't have relationships on the Hill. I mean, whether that's his fault or their fault.
Okay, let's we agree on that. There's no connection. Congressman, back to you. The what? What I found profound in what you said this morning is it's not sure we're going to argue whether one party won 60-40 or lost 70-30 on who gets blamed. Forget the blame game for a second. What's going on with the economy? I think the American people, looking at the polling we got our hands on, have become very demoralized ever since the election, ever since around October. They've been seeing shutdown talk, debt ceiling talk, this stupid name sequestration, and all they hear is trouble in the nation's capital, the inability of our own government, which has been elected, to do its job. I think it's hurting the economy. Your thoughts?
Well, absolutely hurting the economy. What people want in business and in their family life is they want some stability. They want the ability to plan. They want to know, what are my taxes going to be? They want to know, am I going to have a job? Am I going to be laid off? And all they want is some solidity to plan. And when we go through these manufactured crises, we deprive the economy and businesses of that ability to plan. It's incredibly destructive. And what makes it so...
I hate to rush you, Congressman. Do you think the right-wing people know when they're sitting in their chairs voting no, 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 bringing one manufactured crisis to bear after another, that they're just happy when they pick up the paper and say, public confidence going down. That's
they
good
do.
for our
You know,
party.
we know the Grover Norquist starved the beast of resources. Now they're starving the beast of credibility. They're starving the beast of the federal government with any public confidence that it can actually solve problems. And this is part of the destruction of our federal government. And they'd be delighted if people lost confidence in the government and if they could further tear it down. A lot of people run for Congress against the government. That's a tried tradition in American history. But usually once they have office and they have responsibility to govern, they find they have to be for something as well. But this crowd has never made the transition to being for something.
But they take a salary, don't they?
They take a salary, and they're, content.
They work in the United States government. They're working for the government to function, at least, even if they vote against it. They do want a functioning government, but now I get the feeling they don't. Your thoughts, Jonathan?
Well, I mean, I think there was a little truth serum there from the congressman. You campaign against the government as if it was the worst thing in the world. Then you get there and you're supposed to change the stripes that you showed to the voters.
No, but you're supposed to influence policy to the advantage of the republic at some point.
Well, in theory, but all these guys...
shutting it down?
But all these guys are focused on their very narrow constituencies. They're not even within their districts. It's not.
What do you think is the result? In Arizona, we just saw a very right-wing crowd out there on immigration. When they pick up the paper, the Arizona Republican, they see the government's shutting down again, and there's questions about whether we can move a aircraft carrier into the Persian Gulf if we need one. All kinds of questions like that about security. Do you think they're happy?
I think for a lot of people, the immediate reaction is great, the government's shutting down, and then when they go to get services from the VA or people are crossing the border or there are missiles hitting the United States, they care about
having an airplane in the conning tower.
So it doesn't take very long for the public to really get this.
Great to have you on. Congressman, I'm so impressed. Thank you so much. We'll have you back.
Thanks,
You're a very eloquent spokesman for a very complicating situation.